Say something? Fuck, I still can't hear you.
You can't hear me at all?
I can hear you now.
Okay, go. So you can't hear me.
Yeah, now I can.
Okay, cool. I feel like I've been talking for the last 10 minutes to myself, which is, I think, therapeutic. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. We just picked up the expedition.
Nice, nice. So everybody, this is one of the most famous people that has not been discovered yet is Kodi Wright.
I wouldn't say that much.
So right now, Kodi, just to let you know, since this is the first live broadcast ever,
We're live?
Yeah, we're live right now.
How you doing, beautiful people? Why can't I hear you again?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, there it goes.
Jesus Christ. I hit the mute button last time. Oh, my God. Oh, okay, everybody. Hope you can hear me now. Now I can see why there's nobody on here because I look like a mime. But anyways, welcome to our first live broadcast. I have Kodi on here, and now he can hear me. And I realized I hit my mute button on my freaking mic. Anyways, Kodi, how you doing, bud? This is our first live broadcast, which is this is a what do you call it? A test, right? It's just like there's what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? It's trial and error, right? It's it's my first live broadcast and so forth.
Trial test.
It is. This is all recorded and all that. And you know what? I just kind of laugh about it, but the whole point of the cabin talk that and I got to give credit to Kodi for sure on this is that the cabin talk is about everything to talk about your experiences, not just about experiences and everything when it comes to the terms of UFOs, UAP, Bigfoot, cryptids, paranormal stuff, just to kind of share your experience as well as share what's kind of changed your life. But also just talk about anything. This is just a chill talk. So Kodi, you said earlier after I kind of muted my dumbass, what happened today, man? You said you guys are doing what? What was going on? I know John messaged me. What was happening?
We had to go pick up the expedition. His motor's kind of done for.
So pick up the expedition. Where was it at? Was it at in Burlington?
Out in Seabeck, out kind of by where we were for the camp.
Oh, was so did he? So he drove out there and it broke down. Is what happened?
No. So one of our cousins, he does mobile mechanics, kind of like I do when my truck's running. But he does it for a living. You know what I mean? Like that's his income.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Hey, I'll do it for dirt cheap." I was like, "Yeah, no, we got you." And we took it out to him, I think like 2 or 3 days ago, and he cracked it open, looked over it, and he was like, "Dude, you spun a bearing in the bottom end. The motor's toast. Just drive it till it blows up and scrap it." So that's kind of what we're gonna have to do.
Too expensive to fix it, eh? Yeah.
Yeah. The rebuild kit for that is worth more than what they paid for the entire truck. So.
Excuse me. Damn, dude, that sucks. Thank you. That sucks, man. I remember getting a message about that. I actually told
fucking duck. Check the duck out.
Oh, waka mother. Anyways, dude, I told John, by the way, that he can you can easily borrow my truck. I know next week's gonna be a really sunny day, so I can use a motorcycle. And by the way, thank you guys for helping me get that fixed up and everything.
By all means, brother.
It's awesome. And by the way, Kodi and John are the most biggest hearted people I've ever met. It's an honor to be their friends.
You're more like family, man. Let's be honest.
No, I appreciate it, man. Jesus Christ, man. I will. I mean, and that's why I told John. I was like, hey, I told him I was like, if you need to use my truck tomorrow or next week, next week's gonna be a great bike weather. I can just ride the motorcycle. I'm like, just let me know what if you need to borrow my truck and so forth. And Um, absolutely, anything to help out with the family and you guys as much as possible. Like, we're all in it together, man. So, dude.
So
So, yeah.
not to change the subject, well, to change the subject, but
No, go
not to
for it.
change the subject. I mean, we're gonna take us back to the caves, the caverns.
Go for it.
How are you feeling about that now that it's starting to come out and we're starting to be able to see it more, and more people are starting to be able to see it? How do you feel about what we experienced in that?
In the caves where we're at in Mount St. Helens, you talk about?
Yeah, yeah,
Well, so that whole experience has, I will say this: with all our expeditions that we've done, it feels like, and excuse the term, religious experience, right? It's an out of body experience,
it really
Um,
was. It really
it,
was.
it, it, and because it's there's a normal experience where when I say normal experience, is where our everyday lives, right? We wake up, we have breakfast, we go to the store, we go to work, typical stuff, right? That whole thing is just unreal to me. Just with the evidence we found on certain things, the things that we heard and experienced, the time distortion, the blockage of the cave, new writings on the wall that showed up out of nowhere, like what John and I experienced before you were there, and all that stuff. For me personally, I'm ready for the next stage of whoa. Like, okay,
Yeah,
that's me. But I mean, I hope that answered that question. I'm ready for the next stage of like, okay, I've experienced this enough. I want the next level. It's like I went from white belt to another belt in karate.
kind of like
It's
going from white to yellow. You know what I mean?
yeah. I hope that makes sense. And the
It
reason I
does to
say that,
me. I understand it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I did karate, so I understand what
yeah,
you're getting at.
yeah,
So
and, yeah. Go for it. We're good. What are your thoughts?
here's my thoughts. It's real surreal to me, right? Like I've explored those caves, not that cave in particular, but a lot of those caves up there I have been in.
Mhm.
So like going into that one for the first time and experiencing what I experienced, and then looking back on my experiences up in the ape caves and the other caves that are up there, it was different. It wasn't the same as the other caves,
Mhm.
right? I experienced something completely different. Like that cave should have taken us 2.5 hours to get to the bottom of
Yes.
it,
Yeah.
and it took us what 45 minutes to get to the bottom.
It did, and that was a crazy thing. So by the way, everybody out there, John is working really hard to get the film produced. Where it's been debate if it's going to be part of a big movie premiere that we don't with other films, or more of YouTube. Either way, I think it's a big deal regardless. But
It
I'll say
is.
this,
It is.
yeah, yeah. So I'll say this. So when John and I first went there, it took us about 2 hours to get to the spot we're looking at, and the second time we went around with Kodi, it took us 45 minutes. We were even shocked, like, dude, we got here quick. What the
Yeah.
hell?
No, dude. Just so when we first went in it, I was like, this is going to take us a really long time. Like that's my initial thought. I was like, I know these caves. All of these caves are super long, and it takes 2 to 4 hours to get through them.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And then going into that one, and then once we got to the bottom, um, where it ended up blocked off, it threw me off. I was like, "There's no way we made it this fast. Like, there's no way." And
So
then coming
yeah.
back,
Good.
go no,
Mhm.
go ahead, go ahead.
No. Keep going, keep going. I have a bad habit of interrupting. Go ahead, and I'll ask my question
So
afterwards.
when we got back, I looked at the files more, and I looked more into depth of that cave in particular,
Hmm.
and it should have taken us 2.5 hours to get down it. Like it should have. I did all the measurements. I looked all throughout it, and it should have taken us 2 to 2.5 hours. I'm a pretty quick walker. So is John and you. Like you were right there with us in the middle,
Just
and
shorter
it
legs.
yeah, just shorter legs, but you still walk pretty quick for your size.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah,
excuse
it's
me.
good. Yeah.
But doing the research that I did, there's parts of the caves that aren't even in the files. There's a part of the cave that is in the file, but we didn't even see.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it, you guys went through it the first time, but when we went through it, it wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then there's another cave, which is going to be in the film or in the end product.
Yeah.
Where we seen something, we found one of the, not even our glow stick, it was somebody else's glow stick. But there's also another cave that goes above it. And that's what really threw me off, is because there's no record of it unless you look in the files that we have, which you can't really get access to those.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question on this one, because I just came up with like 2 or 3 questions from just those statements. So you asked me that question regards to my thoughts and so forth, like experience. What's your thoughts and so forth on experience? And then I have some additional questions in detail.
So my thoughts on the experience of the cave, I gotta say, I want to go back. I do want to go back, but the reason that I want to go back is because there's still so much for us to discover. Like, there's still offshoots that we didn't go fully down. There's still so much, right?
Right.
So that being said, I would love to go back. I would love to go back there with you boys and actually get to go deep dive it instead of just a quick run through. Because that, to me, that felt like we were there for only like 2 hours. We were there a lot longer, but it felt like 2 hours.
Right. When you say the cave itself, you're talking about the same spot or the other caves that were connected, that we're trying to find. Like you talk about the map, right? Like, you remember how we were walking outside and me being like a little bitch, like, I'm tired, I can't do this anymore. But you know, I'm talking about like we're looking for other holes, right? Like to connect to that particular cave.
I found one of the other holes.
Was this was after? This is after?
Yeah, after. I found one of the other holes.
Okay.
And we were actually right on top of it before we turned around. If we would have walked another 500 feet, we'd have been right there.
No shit.
Yeah, 500 feet. That's how far off we were. 500 fucking feet.
We
were looking at it.
Damn, dude.
Yeah. No, it was probably like a good football field. You know what I mean?
A little over football field. Yeah, that's. I mean,
but we were looking
far, but it's
dead
not
in the direction. No, it's not far at all.
Yeah.
Like, we were looking in the direction. It was just downhill, so we weren't going to see the opening because it's in another crater.
Yeah.
Right,
wait a minute, another crater like the first hole we went to, the hole we went to, like another.
Crater? So the spot that we thought was going to be the second opening, where it was all covered with all the rocks and stuff, it's like that, but there's actually a way to get into it. It's big enough to actually fit through with the pack and shit. Pardon my French.
No, it's totally cool. Well, is it the we call it the so you know how you talk about the glow stick that was up there, that's not ours?
It wasn't that one.
Okay, it wasn't that one. Okay.
But they do connect. They're supposed to connect down where it was closed off.
The one that I got pissed about that we couldn't get through.
Yep, they're supposed to connect right there
with the lake cave in there that we're talking about. The one that we're supposed to, if it's still there, discover something that could supposedly change our lives.
So I'm gonna explain it a little bit. So they both come to an end, right? And at that end, there's a drop off that takes you down roughly 50 feet. I mean, in the discovery, it says that you can climb down it on the one that we were already in. On the other one, it says you got a paracord down. Like, you gotta, climb down it.
So we're gonna need some additional equipment for that one, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. But it would still be nice to go there and look at it first.
Yeah.
To make sure that it's not also closed off, because there's a lake down there. There's a whole lake underground.
So let me ask you this: if when we go back there, should we bring the paracord equipment just in case we decide to go down there? Just like, or is it more or what do you think? Like, just like to go look at it, like, okay, we'll come back next time. What do you think?
That's a hard question for me because I would love to go look at it, but at the same time, if we are able to go down, I would love to fucking go down. I
Same
would love
here.
to go see what it's about. But that's I'm an adventurist. I'd love to do wild things like that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like being able to experience all of this with you guys, like what we just did, and the caves and Blue Mountain. Blue Mountain was one that I didn't expect to actually put a little bit of fear in me, but it did. Right? Like some of the
Elaborate.
things that we experienced there. Some of the things that we experienced there were a little close to home, like things that I experienced growing up. Like when we left you in the school alone, and I was watching you through the window while they were out looking at the graveyard and stuff. But like watching you, and then like you falling asleep, but still talking and stuff. Like it threw me off. It threw me
Hmm.
off. I loved the experience. Don't get me wrong. It didn't scare me, but it hit close to home.
Right. Yeah, it's that. By the way, if people who haven't seen the Blue Mountain, go to was it Momentu?
Uh,
And what Momentu?
Mometu. It's
Thank,
Mometu. There's
yep.
no N in it.
Okay, Momentu. Black or not black. Blue Momentu. Blue Mountain film. Easy to find on Google. That was one hell of an experience itself. It's in Port Angeles, near Forks, and people don't know is that in that area is where
Colton.
a lot of the Twilight movies happen and so forth. Which in a way is kind of, oh my god, there's a chick. Is that John?
I don't want to take the chicken out of here. He's gonna wake up Ellie. Colton,
Please,
enough.
please put that chicken away.
Colton, lay down. This dog, brother.
No, it's all.
Give me. I can still hear you, but give me 1 second.
No, do you think? Do you think? So already, yeah, that's a film that's out. Is Momentu, Blue Mountain School District. Definitely pull it up. If you guys can't find the link, definitely message me on Facebook, Bound to Truth, or message me through Christopher Lopez on Facebook as well. Email boundtotruth34@gmail.com. I'll be glad to send links for you guys to watch it. It's a very incredible film. Very, very. Yeah, I think I will say this: when it comes to films and the paranormal and all that jazz, it will never do it justice unless you're there.
Honestly,
Yeah.
if you are around the area, don't go trash the place, please. Like,
Yep.
do not do that. But definitely go experience it. Go at night. Go with a group of friends. You know what I mean? Just enjoy the experience.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's a great experience. It's something phenomenal that you can experience firsthand if you're here in Western Washington State.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you're willing to make the drive from Eastern, do it.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
Well, I'll say this. So Cody, with Washington, like on the map with a lot of things that are online, like people look at the Port Gamble, the hotel there, and then like Port Townsend. Can you definitely say that Washington, especially in our area, has a lot more secrets on things that have not been discovered, that it's more of a conversation with people like for example, Blue Mountain, I didn't know about it until a former coworker told me about that. That's why I told John about that. Like there's so much out there that has just been undiscovered, that has so much raw energy that's happening out here.
So,
Yeah.
So we actually have a lot of old schools and a lot of old things like that are still around. But kind of like where we just were, a lot of people destroy them for no reason at all, just because they want to be dicks.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, I was talking to a client today regarding where we were at this last Friday.
Oh, you scared the shit out of me.
So was surprisingly, she knows the area we were at in Belfair.
A lot of people know the area.
Okay, so I'm from California, so I don't. But I would say that she said that there's a lot of things happening in that area. She confirmed it.
Oh yeah.
And
there's a lot of. So I've done, well, me and John both, but like even before we went, John did a lot of research. I've researched it several times. But after we went, I did a little bit more of a deep dive into it because I just wanted to know what we were experiencing.
Right.
And some of the statements that people have made is, I don't want to say cryptid, but close to it. Colton,
You think it's the kind of
lay down.
you think it's in between? You think it's in between like the paranormalish cryptid in a way, like where there's a form without a form in a way, like you know talk about like crossing that fine line of the playing field to our existence.
Definitely paranormal.
Yeah.
There's definitely paranormal activity out there. We've experienced it firsthand.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a cryptid aspect to it. Right? So like I asked a few people who, they don't want to be named or anything like that, but I asked a few people who went to camp there. I mean, they're my age. They went there when they were a little bit younger. They were, 13, 14, 15 years old. And they said that there is something out there that is unexplainable. It's not a spirit. It's nothing like that, but it is. And they explained that sound that we were hearing. They said, that's not a bird. That's not an animal.
Is this after the fact that we were out there? Like after the whole thing? No shit.
This was like two days ago that I talked to them.
No shit. Okay. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So they're saying that it is not a paranormal sound. It's not an animal. It's not a bird. It's not some sort of big cat or something like that. But that sound is an often sound that is there. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know how else to explain it other than that. Like, it's unexplained. They don't know what it is. It only happens at night.
Yeah.
And it only happens closer to midnight. You notice how we weren't hearing it when we first got there?
Right.
But once we got closer to where I had never been, it got louder and louder, and it was following us.
Oh yeah, it was all over the place. I mean, even after we left the lake, right? And it just kept following.
Yeah.
I honestly, Cody, I was at the point where I was like, first I was like shocked, like what the hell, and afterwards like, okay, step out. You're doing your sound. Step out and show yourself. Right? I was like, okay, again, going back from the white belt to, it's like, okay, I want this belt now. Yeah. Like, come on.
I cannot stress this enough. I cannot wait to go back there.
Agreed. I honestly think we should camp there personally. And it's funny, when I was talking to the person today who knows the area, I think you know this too. There is a camp area that you can
Aldridge.
Around. Okay,
Aldridge,
so so you know exactly what I'm talking about. We can camp around there.
So you know that second lake that we came up on?
Yeah.
That's Lake Aldridge. I used to go there as a kid a lot. Like a lot. Every summer I'd go there. And we'd go camping out there with my stepdad and things. And that's how I first, like very, very first found out about the boys' camp. Well, the summer camp, because girls would go there, boys would go there, so on and so forth. But it was a Boy Scout camp. Mm-hmm. And there would always be kids up there running through the woods and things. And I was always intrigued. You know what I mean? And then they shut it down, I think 2013 or 2014.
Yeah, it was around that time. I think it was like 15 or 16, whatever. But anyways, yeah.
No, they had a reunion there in 2016.
Oh, okay. But the official shutdown was earlier, is what you're saying.
Yeah, okay. It was like 2013, 2014, something like that.
Okay.
The reason that I want to go back is because it's 50 acres. We only explored maybe 10 of that.
Oh, agreed. It's huge. It's huge.
It's huge. It's huge, brother.
It's got a Jason Voorhees vibe of like Friday the 13th.
It does.
I mean,
it does.
Yeah.
Crystal Lake.
Yep.
That once we got to that yellow house or the mess hall,
yeah,
that's the exact vibe that I got. Was like Crystal Lake, Freddy versus Jason type, and so much unexplained, so much to explore.
Well, and we experienced things in that mess hall too. Remember? I mean, that was
yeah,
dude, that was insane. And I won't forget when we were all kind of like, I was with you exploring that place, and John kind of did thing on the side. You know, like we kind of split up to kind of like cover more land, right? Cover the more of the area. And it was
I would describe it as we were digesting it.
Yeah.
Right, because we split up a few different times, not too far away, but just enough to where we could still keep communication.
Yeah.
From just voice instead of using these, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we found out what was going on with those. Why we keep getting the um, Morse code. It's just
Yeah.
because of the type
Oh,
they
that
are.
dude.
It's just.
Yeah. Hold on.
But the Morse code helped me, save me.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that when I looked that up, that actually threw me off so bad.
This is after the fact, after kind of like the digesting the information.
I looked up what that Morse code was after the caves.
Okay. You know what's fun? Hold on. Before we continue, just let everybody know. So in the caves and this place, we and also another place near Black Diamond, our freaking walkie-talkies went off, man, right? It was nuts. And by the way, this last venture we did, when the chat box was going off, the box was going crazy, or the
Wild,
walkie-talkies were going nuts.
wild. We
Freaking
were
us
picking up
out.
stuff from God knows where.
Yeah.
Like when we went out to what is that place called?
Franklin.
I think the cemetery.
Oh, yeah, that's the one near Black Diamond we talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the Franklin one. Yeah.
Dude, we were picking up stuff from like truckers, and not even near us, not even remotely close to us.
Well, and it was
Way,
a
way, way
private
like
frequency. It was a private frequency.
yeah,
That was the thing.
yeah. We were
John
on a
had adjusted
private line.
a couple times. Yeah, John had adjusted again, and it was still things coming through.
Yeah, once we got onto the private line, there was still stuff coming through, and like I don't even know where it was coming from because I tried to look up what they were saying, and it doesn't show up anywhere. So like what the only thing that I can think of would be like a private jet or something like that, you know what I mean? But even then it wouldn't make sense because they were talking about like things happening on the ground.
Right. Which was
So like
cryptic in a way.
yeah. And they were talking about people in the woods and stuff like that. We were out in the woods. We were in the middle of nowhere, probably like 2-3 miles into the woods,
Yeah.
maybe more.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
I would love to go back there too. That one actually scared me a couple times. I don't even want to say scared. It didn't scare me, but it threw me off my game. You know what I mean? I wasn't on my toes there.
Yeah.
I was like, what am I experiencing right now? What am I hearing? What is off in the bushes? And it wasn't something small. It was something big out there.
It was, and also, can I say this too? Is like, you know how, like, John, this last one we went to out in the Belfair area where we were at, and John's like, okay, let's bring our walkie-talkies again. Let's kind of duplicate the process like we did that in Franklin near Black Diamond. That night, I didn't feel comfortable. That one night when we went to Franklin, John's like, okay, Kodi and I go this way, Chris, you go this way, right? We have our walkie-talkies and everything, and so forth. And that was still uncomfortable, but I was like, okay, we're going to do it, right? But the night we went out to this area in Belfair, I did not feel comfortable separating. I was like,
neither did I.
I did not, just because just because of the girdling sounds, not just from one area, but multiple areas. Not it wasn't just near us; it was also across the lake. Like it was bound. It was just like it was like these, whatever it was communicating with each other. I don't know how to describe it, but it was just like, I'm not comfortable with it. If we were to separate, even when we did a quick separation in the same building was uncomfortable. But then when we all met up after we got out of that mess hall and the things we heard inside the building, I mean, you and John jumped on top of it. You're like, what the fuck?
Well, yeah, we're really quick to action.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we got a military mindset, so we're getting on top of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what we experienced just at that mess hall, neither me or John nor you could ever explain in a lifetime. You know what I mean? Like it.
Well, what was inside walking around was just unexplainable. And one of the questions I want to ask you, I'm not sure research this. So at the theater with the figure, like the native covered figures right out there, that middle one really struck me. Now again, I'm not native. I'm not like native like you and John, who have great ties with the native community. But I'd never seen, again, this is just me, a figure in the middle that has like ears, or call them devil horns, whatever you want to call it. Like I said before, my first thought was like the Dante's Inferno in the Seven Circle Hell, where there's faces in the body. It's like this being was absorbing other beings or souls. I mean, that's just me. That's how I interpret it. That's me being. It's like for a theater for Boy Scouts. Like that's just a weird figure to be on stage, And also too, I think it was cool to see that there's a fireplace in the middle. But to me, I always think of like a ritual. Oh, I can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. But anyways, go ahead. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
So what it reminds me of is like the Bohemian Grove. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
Nope. You're perfect. You're the Moloch, Bohemian Grove, the Moloch statue.
Yeah, the Moloch.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's what it reminds me a lot of. But the people that I talked to, they said that middle figure or the middle painting is a bear.
Just a bear.
Just a bear. That's all they said. They actually painted it. So some of the kids that went there painted it themselves.
That's pretty damn good for kids.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's pretty detailed.
Yeah, they were pretty young kids too. So like to do something like that, don't get me wrong, everybody's talented in their own ways. So like,
right.
I could see it.
Right.
But it being what they said it was kind of makes sense looking at it.
Okay.
But they had no explanation for the faces inside of it. None at all. Nor the extra eyes, none of that. They just, I don't know, we just painted it. Like it was something that we seen and we painted.
You think it was influenced by something in the woods in a way?
It could be, or something spiritual, or just something native. Like I'm not from that tribe. I don't know anything about that tribe. I don't even know what tribe it is.
Interesting.
They couldn't even tell me. But I can do more. I haven't even looked into what tribe that is, but I believe it's the I was just talking to John about it earlier. I'm drawing a blank right now. Sorry, brother.
No, it's okay. Actually, keep. I'm gonna go take a restroom break because it's live. Keep talking about the bear and so forth. I'll be right back. Okay. SpongeBob, hold on 1 second.
SpongeBob. You should have muted yourself, brother. The bear was very interesting. There was some other birds on the side of it that was a little bit different. Some of the chats that we got would throw off most people. Had a little bit of a weird feeling sitting there in front of it. Chat box was saying, "I'm behind you," stuff like that. And it will definitely throw you off looking and hearing it. But it is what it is. We do this for the love of it, not just for the adventure. You know what I mean? Like it is for the adventure, experience new things that we actually believe in and we love to be around. Ain't that right? Market Zero. Love the shirt. I love the shirt.
Thank you. So sorry about that, everybody. I am an old man with a small bladder. So kind of go back with the whole bear, the bear thing. So no one can explain the faces. It was painted on by the children, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and you're saying that you're not sure what native it is for where it's from, or has that it? I mean, do we even know what tribe it's from?
I'm actually looking it up as we speak.
Okay.
It's the Ho tribe.
Okay, how familiar with the Ho tribe?
Not at all.
So you don't know any information about the Ho tribe?
Sucking it twice, dum dum.
Actually, you can still see me, right? Oh, can you still hold on? Can you still hear me? Oh, he's muted. All right, while he's doing that, I'm gonna pull up the Ho tribe. Hold on, everybody.
Sorry.
No, it's
Had
okay.
to mute myself.
I'm pulling up the Ho tribe right now.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
mean,
very familiar with them.
are they? It's a HO.
HOH.
Oh, HOH. Okay, thank you. HOH. Let me pull this up here. I'm pulling up on Google. Let's see how honest Google is. Ho tribe. Okay. Ho River. Okay. So let's do this. So I'm pulling up right now. No, I'm gonna go. So that's I don't want that. I want. Um. So it's a Ho tribe. Okay, here we go. Let's go to there. So the Ho tribe. Okay, the Ho tribe, which or sh- uh Chalat, like Chalaaat, which means those who
People of the
live.
Ho River.
Yep, you got it. Or yeah, people river are a Native American tribe in the Western Washington State, the United States. The tribe lives near the Pacific coast of Washington on the Olympic
They're
Peninsula.
Quileutes.
Yep. The Ho moved onto the Ho Indian Reservation at the mouth of the Ho River. Were we near the Ho River?
I don't think so. I'm
Okay.
not sure though, because there is
Okay.
a river that runs through there. I don't know the name of
We're
it though.
okay. Where is Jefferson County at?
It's like Quileute, I believe.
We're, so are we close there or no? Were we again? You know better than I would. How close we were to Jefferson County?
Hold on. So we were actually a really good distance from Jefferson County because Jefferson County is like
Across the bridge,
um,
right? Across the
uh,
Huguenot Bridge, isn't it? Or no?
well across the bridge in general because that's like Bees Mill. Um, I think it's yeah, it's Quilcene.
Yeah. Okay. So that's interesting. So we were far. We were really far apart from there. That's interesting. I mean,
So Jefferson County is like Squim and all that.
yeah, that's interesting. That painting on there was like supposedly Ho tribe related. I mean, again, I don't know why they would paint something like that from the Ho tribe when it's separate from like distance wise. It's pretty far distant. So
No,
going back into it, go ahead. Sorry.
it's really not that far of a distance if you think about it. Like that's
Okay.
30-minute drive from where we're at.
Mm.
Like we
Yeah,
can
but
be
when
up in
you talk about Squim, though, I mean that's I mean drive like for me from Hansville to Squim is about a little over an hour. But again I'm coming from a
oh,
roundabout like from
the way
Huguenot. But,
you drive, it's about an hour. The
all
way
right.
we drive, it's about 30 minutes, give or
Okay.
take.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Fair
No,
enough.
no offense. No
No,
offense. You just
no,
drive like
it's
grandma.
okay. I drive like Miss Daisy. It's totally fine. Okay, so the Ho Indian Reservation at the mouth of the Ho River on the Pacific coast of Jefferson County, after signing the was it
Yeah.
Quinault Treaty in July. This is back in on 1855. Okay, so the resident, let's see, in the area of 1929 square foot kilometers, which is 477 acres, is pretty huge. The resident population for that's pretty huge for 102 persons in that area. It lies about halfway between the nearest outside communities of Forks to its north of to its north and Queets to its south. The river is central to their culture. The main resources they used include cedar trees, salmon, and nearby vegetation. They also traded and bartered with other tribes closer to eastern Washington near the Platus and Great Plains. Well, I guess it makes sense too because, like, again, I'm thinking of travel like with vehicles, but for these folks back in the day, that type of long travel is like considered normal, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, Again, like me, so I was like, that's an hour drive, and to them back in the day, it's like that's close, because they didn't have the transportation did. So his story is in what the hell does this word mean? Ab Aboriginal times. There was nothing.
Aboriginal times.
Thank you, Jesus. Okay, there was nothing secluded about the Ho watershed, and even its upper reaches. No less than 7 permanent settlements were situated along the banks of the Ho, most with a fish trap. The river served not only as a riverine thoroughfare leading to their fishing sites and their hunting, trapping, and foraging grounds. It was also the nursery of the salmon and home. So it sounds like you're right. Honestly, you are totally right. Like it's not that far. I mean, far apart in my mindset. But when it talks about the riverbeds and how things connected with, we were talking about, like, honestly, if we were back in the day and the bridge wasn't there was canoes and everything. So it sounds like there was still a huge connection of continuity. Okay.
You got to think, if you can see the land across from you, you're going to want to go explore that, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right. And from where we were at, you can see Brennan and stuff like that, like Brennan, Washington, and stuff like that. So, well, not where exactly we were at, because we were smack dab in the center of the woods. But if you go out to the water and you look across it, you're seeing the Hood Canal. You know what I mean? And you go right across that, and you're over in Brennan, Hamma, Squaxin Island, stuff like that. You know what I mean? You're up in the Peakson area. And then you go north from that, and you're up in Quilcene, Jefferson County.
Yeah.
Because it literally goes Mason, Jefferson County. Or Mason, Kitsap, Jefferson County.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. With that painting that we saw, by the way, John, being a great participant, said, I have a question for you guys. I'm like, what's the question? Question mark. So waiting for John to respond to that. I'm sure it's going to be some smart ass question.
Yeah, Jonathan, what's the question?
Yeah, what's the question, John? Come on, Jonathan. Come on. What's your question, buddy? What's your question?
I would love to answer it for you.
I'm going to defer to you first on that one.
No. You first. Ladies first.
Oh, fair enough. It's because I have long hair. So let me ask this question.
At least you got the joke.
That's true. I did get the joke. So with the Ho tribe, do you know much about the Ho tribe?
I personally do not.
Okay.
I can definitely do my research now that I know what tribe it is, because I never looked into it. I got a picture of that sign that was inside the mess hall that I've been meaning to look into. I've sent the picture of the theater to Google, and it doesn't show up anything.
Well, is that weird? I mean, is that normal or not normal? Is it because the Ho tribe is that secluded, or I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I don't find it weird, because that's native culture. It's not gonna be like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to explain that.
No. Well, no, it makes sense, because some tribes, like if people have like heard like, what's the tribe we talked about when we're driving, the very conquering tribe. What's it called? Apache, or I'm talking about. There's certain tribes that are very streamlined, right? That are well known. And this could be a tribe that's very secluded, right? So not everybody's going to know in a big global demographic setting, and this is more of a local thing, right? So I mean, I guess that's kind of normal. I'm just curious to kind of like what that painting means. I know it was done by these Boy Scouts, but it was so fine and detailed. It was. I mean, it looked like it was done by natives.
Yeah, it was. Well,
I mean, I'm not saying. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
If you're learning about the culture, you're gonna want to delve into it. You know what I mean? You're gonna want to learn as much as you can about it.
Right.
And that's with anything. Like me personally, if I'm looking into something, I'm going to want to learn everything I can about it.
Right.
That way, if I do feel the need to, like, if it comes up in conversation, I'm going to want to be able to be like, hey, yeah, I know about this. Let me school you on it real quick, so that way you can actually learn these things.
Right.
But that's in anything that I do. If I cars or anything automotive, you know what I mean? I'm going to do as much research as I can. I'm going to learn about it hands on. Same with anything that I do, I want to learn hands on.
Right. Right.
So
So, man,
like,
yeah, go ahead. Go
go
ahead.
no, go ahead.
Well,
That's
no, what I was going to ask to you, Cody, is because I get really skeptical about looking at things online, or know how to search it. Like my first thought is going to Google, right? But knowing how compressed information is on the internet now, it's got more advanced on compressing information. How do you approach the research you've done? Because I gotta say this, I told John this before. I'm heavily impressed by your research and what you do. In addition to like I said, I don't think like you do. You have a very different approach. You look at things differently, do things differently. How do you approach researching things?
so I do use Google for a lot of my research, but I
Okay.
don't just look at one or two pages. I'm looking through the entire list. You know what I mean? I spend hours on hours on hours going through everything that I can, and everything that matches up. That's what I'm going with. Like if
Yeah.
it's lining up with everything else that I'm seeing, I'm gonna continue that. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't do like the average person's research where they just go and look at a few things and they're like, oh yeah, this is true. No, I'm looking at everything that I can down the line, and everything that matches up is what I will go with. Right. And then if I got people that I can talk to about it, people that I know, like in that tribe or around that era, if it's a close era to us, I'm talking to them. Like when we were doing Blue Mountain, or when you guys were doing Blue Mountain before I even came,
Yeah.
I was doing research on it. As soon as John was like, "Oh, we're doing Blue Mountain," and da da da, and I talked to somebody I know's great grandfather, and was like,
Mhm.
"Hey, what do you know about this? Because I know you grew up in the area." And he told me some things that I knew about it. He had already told me stories about it from because he went to school there and stuff like that. So like, I knew some things that you guys wouldn't have known. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, it's been a while since we even discussed this. I forgot the guy's name,
Mhm.
but the guy that did himself in the school, right? And we got his name on the talk box or the chat box and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So like, we found his burial site and all that. You know what I mean? So I knew that these statements were true. I knew that the research that I did was very accurate. And that's what I look for in doing these things, is what research can I do to better our experience? Not only our experience, but try and communicate with them better.
So let me ask this question, Cody, is the stuff that we're doing, right? And I thought about this today, and I've and me being the business mindset, it's like, how do I, it's like, honestly, it'd be great to make money. And I look at this as because I would love for us to fully do this, right? Full time. And it's a hard job. But at the
It
same
is.
time, it's like finding ways to do it without compromising the integrity of the investigation, right? So, I will say this for myself, and I was talking about this today. It was like I was like it's hard because it's like everybody wants shock value. Yeah, I would like shock value, right? I like that's gonna be like, whoa, what's out there, right? Like I'm a big film person, but at the same time, I want things to be investigated and discussed to create we call it knowledge, to create awareness that this stuff is not something new. It's been around a
So
long time, so like what's your, so with that being said, what is something that you're hoping to accomplish in addition to yourself, but also for people to see and hopefully understand?
I want the word out there. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like me personally, I want the word out there. I firmly believe in the paranormal and cryptid. I believe in all of that.
Right.
I've experienced it firsthand.
Mhm.
You guys have experienced it firsthand. You guys know exactly how I feel about it.
Right.
Like, obviously, doing it, eventually the money will come to all
Right.
of us,
Right.
but that's not my first thought in it.
Right.
My first thought in it is I'm here to experience something raw,
Mhm.
right? And what we are doing is we are experiencing it as raw as we possibly can. Nothing is
Mhm.
faked, nothing is fronted, right? So we're going out there and we're putting our all into that. And we are actually getting things back that we have never experienced before,
Mhm.
right? Like
Yeah. Right.
when we were out at the camp, things that I had never experienced before, things that I've heard before because I heard those sounds last time I was out there before we went out there,
Right.
but they weren't all over the lake. They weren't following us. They weren't doing what they were doing this time.
Right. Compared to what you had last time, like years back.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Right. And what we experienced this time was so raw, so uncut, so unfiltered that eventually when we do go back there, we're going to expect those same things. And I know we're not going to get them. We might get the sounds. We might get, some paranormal experiences again, but we're not going to get the same feelings that we had last time.
Do you think these entities know that we're filming? You think they're trying to stay hidden? Like let's just say this for a fact. Let's say we didn't have any equipment out there that night, right? Do you think that the experience would have been more intense if we didn't have the equipment out there?
I firmly believe that, yeah. I don't believe that they know that we're filming, but I believe that they know we're there for something. So they're not going to give us the same output that we're looking for. Oh,
So
excuse me.
yeah, no, but that's interesting because like say we didn't bring any of our equipment. Like we just say like, hey, you, John, and I, like, okay, we're just not gonna bring any equipment. We're gonna go out there to have an experience. And you think it's like minus the equipment that it's about the intent, why and how like the intent is like it's like if our intent was different, like, hey, we're going camping, and it'll be more extreme, right? Compared to like, hey, we're going camping to get to capture these things, and they're kind of more, we're gonna fall back a bit. I mean, do you think it's something like that in a way?
Yes and no,
Okay.
right? So what we experience isn't, I don't want to say it's out of the normal because, like, anyone that goes out there, they're going to experience something different,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I've learned that firsthand, being this is my third time out there
Mm-hmm.
at this exact camp,
Yep.
right? And every time that I've been out there, I've experienced something different.
Right.
But also every time that I've been out there, I've gone a little bit further past my boundaries. I've pushed the envelope every time that I've done it. Right. So like you guys coming with me, you guys seen where the last place that I was at.
Right.
And then we pushed that. We were like, okay, let's go further. There's more out here to be discovered. Right. So the further we get, the more experience that we have, the more things that we're experiencing that's not the same as what I had already experienced. Right. Like we didn't see the lights, but we heard the noises.
Right.
We heard way more than the noises. We were,
Yeah.
I don't want to say seeing things, but like when we were in the shop, we were experiencing things outside. When we were in the mess hall, we were experiencing things outside, then inside once we exited the mess
Yep.
hall.
Right.
There was definitely something there with us that we were
Yeah.
not seeing. We were not catching. And every
Right.
time that we would try and catch it, it's gone.
Oh, it was quick, and it was. And by the way, everybody out there, um, that was, I would say, the moment where all three of us experienced that, but that wasn't the only moment. There was separate experiences that we all had in different
Yeah.
locations of the place, right? And it was like playing paranormal tag. You're it, you know, and
That would be the
you know,
best way to describe that,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah. And it's tough. I'll say this too, because like for me, I'm a big, you have your ability. I have my OCD mindset where it's like I want to film everything to capture it, and sometimes what's hard about that. It's like when I get so focused, like I can't turn the camera on, then I miss an opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's the son of a bitch is what I call it. It's the son of a bitch because I want people to see this and get that out there like you do. And I want people to know too that this is something for us. Well, I'll say this for you and John particularly is not new because you guys grown up with this. For me, it's newer, but I've always been intrigued by it when I was younger. And for everybody else out there who's lived in today's society that is a narrative to how life is, and again, good or bad, take it for what it is. This is going to be new to you, but I can confidently say, and Cody, you can agree with me or not, and I believe you'll agree with me on this one. What's out there and the stuff we experience, not just in the area but other areas, this is not something new. It's been around.
Okay, I will say this.
Go for it.
Right. As far as this goes along with what you were saying, right? It's around. It's been around. It's been a thing.
Yeah.
Right. All of the indigenous tribes have experienced a lot of this. A lot of African tribes over, obviously in Africa, have experienced a lot of this. Right. It's in the culture. Right. If you follow the culture and you follow what every other person believes in, not every other person, but like what these people that are from this land believe in,
right?
From every other land, there's stories that follow the same narrative for centuries.
Agreed.
Right. And if you pay attention to it and you do your own research on it, and I mean like in the field doing your own research, not just Googling, right? You go and experience these things, you're going to see firsthand that it's not a lie. These things are in fact true. Right. So like what was his name? Randy? What was the other guy's name? Gary?
Randy Bauer and Gary White.
Great men. Absolutely phenomenal men. I love them to death. I've only met them one time and it was on the podcast. I love those
amazing guys. Amazing guys.
Yeah,
like
amazing.
You could say they're passionate about what they're sharing.
Exactly. Because they firmly believe and stand on what they experience, just like me, you, and Jonathan.
Right.
We firmly believe and stand on what we experience.
Yeah.
Right. And we're not just out here looking for the paranormal. We're looking for otherworldly things. We're looking for things that are unexplained, that we want to explain firsthand, that we want to be, we want you guys to know firsthand that this is out there.
Right.
It's not all kittens and rainbows out there. There's so much more to life and the world than we can ever know.
I agree 100%. And the reason why I agree with you on that is because, like you said, we're not here trying to control the narrative saying this is what this is what that is. We're telling you what the stories that we've heard, like you experienced and so forth, your research, and what we're experiencing. And this is what's out there. Are we going to have answers to it all? No, it's not about having answers. It's about this phenomena is real. And we want people to experience and participate and collaborate with us. Do your own research too. Find out what that means. There could be.
And it's not just here. It's not just here. It's every state. It's all across the lands, every land that you can imagine. I'm sure there's people in Canada that experience this. I'm sure there's people in Mexico. Well, we know there's people in Mexico that experience these things. The chupacabra, that's got to be something.
Oh,
that
dude,
can't be fake.
Dude,
there's so much lore on that.
Oh yeah, or what's the one, the the white witch, or the white the law something, the crying mother, the whole thing.
Yeah. So there's lore on that up here too, as well as Mexico.
Well, yeah.
Like obviously, like there's more in Mexico, but we have that up here.
Yeah, you talked about that in the white.
Yeah.
Remember we're driving. Can you tell a little bit about the story? Like we were driving afterwards when I was like freaking delusional, falling asleep.
So
But
that wasn't really, we did talk about it
yeah,
after we were leaving the camps, but that wasn't where we were at.
right.
Right. So Mason County is full of its own things.
Mhm.
Right? There's tons of things to experience out there. It was obviously once indigenous lands.
Mhm.
Like as of all the Hood Canal was.
Mhm.
This is all Peakson and Coastal Salish, and there's a few other tribes that I'm forgetting. You know what I mean? Like these were all indigenous lands, and they all have their own beliefs, and a lot of them meet up in the middle,
Mhm.
right? So this one's not even a native belief. This is just a well-known belief. It's called the Lady in White or
Yeah.
the Woman in the White Dress. There's so many different names for her. She's believed to be a banshee, as John can even say. And I was driving one night. I'm not the safest driver. I drive safely, but very recklessly.
You
Right?
drive bravely. Let's say that.
Bravely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I grew up around race cars and things like that, so I like to drive fast.
Right.
Right? I was in a turbo Honda Civic. Decent. I don't want to say super fast, but it's decently fast. And I'm coming through Mason County on my way from Belfair to Allen, and it's raining out. You know what I mean? It's a pretty stormy night. I come up the hill, I crest a couple corners, and there's a train trestle that you got to pass before you hit like the school, and then a couple more corners, and you're in Allen. And there's a woman standing in the middle of my lane, smack dab in the center, looking like she's in distress. That's the best way I could describe it. And I slam on my brakes. I get out of the car. She's gone. Just gone. I got several buddies who can express the exact same thing that I witnessed. I got several buddies who witnessed it on their own accord. Completely different times, but same time of year. And, she's believed to be a banshee. And I don't know how else to explain it other than that. She just vanished out of thin air. I got back in the car and I kept about my way. And I experienced that more than once. It wasn't just that one occasion, but that was the one that really freaked me out. After that, I started to believe it was a spirit.
So let me ask you this question. So with that being said, with this entity, right? Which could be the same entity with different we call it explanations or religions, like oh, this is this,
Cultures.
this is that, yeah, I'm talking about. Do you think it's a spirit that was once human, or do you think it's something that's completely demonic? I use the word demonic in a way, like just to generalize, like something that's an entity that's not from the normal playing field that once existed here.
So here's my belief on it.
All
Okay.
right.
I believe that given the area, she had to have at one point been a real person.
Right.
I mean, I say a real person because I do believe that it's a banshee, but I believe that she was once a person who something happened to that obviously me nor you know about. Right. I've tried to look into it about the area and there's nothing about it. There's nothing about a woman in a white dress. There's nothing about a woman in a nightgown. None of that.
Right.
Right. But I've witnessed it. Several other people have witnessed it. So there's got to be something, right? Whether it's a spirit, whether it's demonic, there has to be something on the lore of her, right? But as you said earlier, there's a lot of lore in Hispanic culture or Mexican culture. There's a lot of lore throughout America about her. And I'm sure other places.
Oh, La Lenora. That's what I meant to say. Sorry, I'm not sure it's the
Yeah.
same person, but yeah, La Lenora. Thank you. Go ahead.
I don't know who said that, but you're spot on.
Yeah.
Because I've been thinking about that this whole time, but I thought I was wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of lore on it. And there's not a lot of lore on it in that specific region. Right? So it could be either or. It could be a real person who something tragic, really like seriously tragic happened to. And if that's the case, I'd love to explore that. But if it's demonic, I want nothing to do with it,
So let me ask you this: if it was demonic, why wouldn't you want anything to do with it? Now, when I say anything to do with it, I'm not saying like to play with it or pull out a Ouija board, but if it's
I don't play with Ouija boards.
yeah. By the way,
Refuse to.
that's a whole that's I did it once and bad idea.
Yeah,
That was
bad idea.
yeah, I was 19 years old on that one. And but anyways, if it is something demonic, why wouldn't we want to expel it? Or is it something that we just like that's out of our realm, or it just can't be expelled? Is that what you're saying? It's like, hey, leave it alone, don't touch it.
I would explore it. I'm not saying that I wouldn't. I'm just saying that I wouldn't want to. I would do it just because that's the kind of person I am.
Right.
But that's not something that I would go out of my way and be like, hey, let's go do this.
Right.
Unless Jonathan was there.
Yeah,
it's the only way that I'm going and doing that.
It's like it's not like going out in the woods saying let's find a bear and poke it and fuck with it. It's just like no.
I would do that.
Yeah,
I would do that. I would go and poke a bear before I do that by myself.
Yeah, but it's like no, we need an expert to handle the situation.
Exactly, and John's more traversed in that situation. Sorry, got
no, it's
some
okay.
build up. John is more traversed in the demonic being realm, right? So like we all bring something to the table, right? Like you bring your questions because you have top of the line questions about everything that we experience, right? I bring I'm going headfirst into this. I'm going to experience it firsthand and tell you exactly what I experience as raw and uncut as I can. I do my own research. I go out of my way to do these things, and I'll stay up late at night doing my own research just so that way we know. Right. And then there's Jonathan. He's traversed in all of the cryptid. He's traversed in all of the spiritual realm.
Well, he's just traversed in a lot of different things. I mean, especially with his not just him, but his family when it comes to beings, John talked before with his again, I'm going to call it his words, extraterrestrial beings, right? It's like it's a whole
dude. I remember when all of that happened, like it without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
And for me, for me, when I ask these questions, I try to play devil's advocate, because people are out there like, well, where's your proof? Where's this and that? And it's my proof is like, come out here.
Yeah, come experience it.
Come experience it. Then you'll know, because it's because anybody can fake anything, anybody can centralize things. And especially with AI, which is a whole nother fucking topic, which is another, and I'll be honest, with AI, to me is a lot more scarier because of something we create.
I don't mess with AI.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation, which I'm looking to do a podcast in about a month or two. And the reason I say a month or two, people are like, why aren't you doing a podcast by AI if it's so big? Because honestly, I have other people on the platform. Like I mean, Kodi, I told you, but the podcast has exploded with a lot more people who want to be on, which is because that's the whole point of the podcast, to give people a platform to talk about their experiences, right? No matter
especially the cabin talk. Yeah. Like you're the biggest attribute to that. All I attributed was the name of it.
Oh, the name's genius, by the way. And like I said, everybody out there with Kodi, he came up with, I was going to call it paranormal therapy, which I've said a few times on the podcast. John and I talked about that. When Kodi came up with cabin talk, was like, that's fucking amazing. I was like, I just had this picture of like a fireplace, or outside fire cabin. We just talk about ghost stories and experiences. It's beautiful. I think it's the most beautiful idea for a conversation, and I got to give you 100% credit for that.
Here's my little backstory on it. Okay.
Yeah.
When you were explaining it to me, the paranormal therapy, I felt as if that only gave it one spot.
Right.
I felt as that's just ghosts.
Yeah.
Right? Paranormal to me is just ghost spirits.
Right.
I mean, worldly beings. Right. What do you experience in a cabin? Right. Like when we do these kind of things, we go out into the middle of the woods. We do all of this. We might be experiencing paranormal, but we're also looking at a lot of cryptid beings.
Right.
Sasquatch, we're looking at aliens, we're looking at Wendigos, Fays, so on and so forth, right? And a lot of people out there have those experiences and can speak about it, right? Like,
well, they can't speak about it, but how many want to talk about it?
that's a good question. I would love for more people to come forward and speak on their experiences.
Well, case in point about cabin talk, the idea you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Come on over. Well, come to the podcast. If you can't come over, if you're here in Washington, maybe we can work something out. You can come on over and we can discuss some things and get you on the podcast. I got some great gentlemen that do paranormal hunts down in Kentucky. I got some other gentlemen down in Texas that do it, that want to come on the podcast. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Just because they want to share their experience of where they're at.
Right.
Right. And like the conversations that I've had with them are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like hearing their experiences, some things that I've witnessed, things that you've witnessed, things that Jonathan's witnessed, and things that none of us have. Right. Obviously, you're in a different region. You're going to experience something a little bit different or a whole lot different.
So let me ask you this: with people who experience those things, do you think that the effects, like like we talk about, like the whole point of Cabin Talk is not just about, yes, we want to hear our experiences, but what has it done to your life? Do you think that things like this, that for people, especially maybe experience some really extreme things, have caused them to go through unfortunate choices in their lives about how they live it in a way? I hope that question makes sense, because like with any trauma, right? You think about, like, I came from bad parenthood and this is where I'm at in life, or I had this experience in my life and I chose this lifehood. Do you think that's kind of like that effect too with people when it comes to that, especially when it's something that's not the norm that our society created? Do you think that there's something like that in a way, like
Yes and no.
Okay.
I do believe that it is life altering to experience these things. I do believe that it's going to make you look at life a different way.
Right.
But I don't believe it's going to make you different. And that being said, what I mean by different is I don't believe that you're going to start being a weirdo. I don't believe that you're going to start being violent or anything like that. I mean, possession is real. So, like, that could happen.
Right.
I do believe in possession. It's not uncommon. John can tell you that.
Yeah.
But I don't believe that it's going to change you 110%.
Okay.
And that's from my experience.
Gotcha.
Right?
Gotcha.
Like, what I experienced.
It's all about choices, though, too. Like, right?
Exactly.
It's
that's what I was about to start getting into.
Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No. You just touched base on exactly what I was going to say.
Well, it's just like this. When I was talking to John about, like, his experience, being him a licensed exorcist, is that possession's about a choice, right? We have choices directly or indirectly. We make those choices, and even if it's indirectly, we still have a choice to directly get rid of it. And there's times where people don't want to get rid of it because they're used to the chaos, because it's familiar to them. And and again, that's just my thoughts, because I think at the end of the day we have choice, like, regardless, like I said, there's in life in general, Kodi, and you know this, both of us know this, we all have sometimes in life that has given us different cards in life, and we either become bitter or better. And at the end of the day, even if we, and not saying none of us make the best choices of life, it's a battlefield, but at the end of the day, it's still our choice and how we want to become better or bitter about our life.
Exactly. To touch on that topic, we all go through things. We all experience life different.
Right.
Nobody goes through the exact same thing. Nobody experiences life the exact same way.
Right.
You live and you learn. And if you're not willing to live and learn, then that's on you. If you're not willing to learn from the things that you go through to better your life, that's a you choice. Yeah. That's you being bitter about the things that you've gone through. Right. I've been through a lot. You've been through a lot. John's been through a lot. so many people have been through a lot, and we try to better our lives.
Right.
Right. So life's all about choices.
Right.
Make the right choice.
Yeah, and it's the best choice to not just better ourselves. I think you agree on this one. If we make the best choice to better ourselves in healthy ways, it betters the people around us. If we make choices to better ourselves for gain in unhealthy ways, it hurts other people. Oh, he mocked himself. You there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, that's okay. What I was saying is
Being
like
blinded.
no, it's okay. What I was saying is like I 100% agree.
Christopher, I can't hear you, but I'm really proud of you for this cabin talk. I've been watching it on live, and I just wanted to let you guys know that I love you and I'm here.
And the hair is fantastic.
Who was that?
Oh, Chris's hair? That's Sophia. She
Look
said
at
your
that.
hair is fantastic.
Your
Oh,
hair
so
is
Sophie.
I don't have hair.
fantastic.
John helped my little baby shirt. Shut up, Colt.
I don't know how this will sound, but I'm gonna blow you a kiss. I love you.
I love you too. Sophia, let me tell you something. You saying that, the
She
way
can't, she can't hear you. She can't hear you.
Okay, here's the thing.
We
I'm gonna
can't
say
hear
it
you,
now.
but we just want everybody on live to know how supportive we are of Bound to Truth and how we are so proud of Christopher Lopez for how far his podcast has come and how great his hair is and how small his dick
Those
is.
beautiful hair.
Oh my. Okay. Besides the small dick joke, I'm gonna say this about Sophia. Thank you to Sophia. If you want great hair like me,
That was not the
buy
moment
her
I meant.
products.
I
Buy her healthy
apologize.
product.
Oh my god. John's over here trying to kill me.
Yeah, John tries to kill everybody. But what I was saying, Cody, is when it comes to like those life choices, right? It's like we have two choices. We either better ourselves in healthy ways that's going to help better people around us, right? Or
Exactly.
or we better ourselves in unhealthy ways that's going to negatively affect other people around us. I mean that's just me. It's like if we learn how to take care of ourselves in healthy ways and loving ways, it's going to reflect to other people, right? It's like I tell people, if you want to help some people, help yourself first. It's not selfish. If you help yourself first in healthy ways, you're going to help people in other healthy ways. You know, and I gotta say this, and I think that point's made because, like for me, I think like a compliment to you and John, you guys have blessed me in healthy ways because of your hearts, and it helped me hopefully help in healthy ways complement that as well. Like that's the whole point of being a human. You know, it's like that commune, and I love it because I feel like this may sound weird. This is why, especially as a kid, I always loved natives because there's that aspect like like if you're hunting or if you're doing something you respect the things around you and you give grace and you give blessings and you give gratitude for thank you for taking care of this, thank you for doing this for us and taking care of us. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's my thing. It's about that intent, right? It's like you know but
I was fireworks. I was like, what the fuck is that sound?
oh, it's starting early. That's John. He's trying to start
No,
war. John's trying to start World War III.
no, he's not.
No, I'm joking.
He's just ready for invasion if it does come.
John's all about prep and prepare, man.
Yeah, by all means.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't blame him. I don't. By the way, everybody out there who has businesses out there when it comes to like, hey, preparation when it comes to food and non-perishables, please come to us because we would love to promote you as a sponsor. That'd be great. It's all about taking care of each other.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, but no, what time is it right now? It's about 9:45. We went kind of long. It's our first live podcast. We have a lot of people. Oh, hold on. Oh, I just tried to join, but no sound. Oh, okay. I'm gonna say this too. This is Steph. Okay, I'm gonna say this to her. Steph, I apologize. Guys, working on tech. Working on tech difficulty. So it's just so everybody out there. This is a recorded live version. Hopefully, the live will come out with sound. I'm gonna have to work with. I think the next time when we do live, I think about doing a few hand. Well, John heard us live, right? He heard us just fine,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm curious on that. With everybody, definitely give me your feedback if you're on here and you didn't hear us. Please send this to us. I'll have to email StreamYard about that.
What all are you live on?
Hold on. Difficulties. Facebook and YouTube.
Okay. Yeah.
At the same time. So, like I said, this is very experimental, but definitely not a waste. Because this is still recorded, so this live version will be sent online. I'm gonna do some editing with the recorded version, right? But yeah, gosh, we've gone for a while, and I'll definitely, like I said, everybody, we're going to try to do this once a month, maybe twice a month, depending how big the platform gets with me, John, and Kodi. And hopefully, this will, progress to be well. Like I said, I'm not really tech savvy. I've gotten far as I can. Before we go,
I'm not
Kodi,
tech savvy at all.
you're I call you the freaking Tesla version with your mindset, dude. You're freaking like what's his name with the wheelchair who died? I feel terrible. I feel terrible. No. But who can walk? Oh my God, I'm going to hell. Anyways, so I might have to cut that out, people. But no, everybody, Kodi, we'll definitely get off here, and you and I will talk off the air, to kind of give each other feedback and so forth. But everybody, how can you reach us? If there's any questions, comments, insults, definitely reach out to bound234@gmail.com. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Audible.
If you got any insults, you can message me personally. I would love them.
Kodi loves it. He gets bored. Audible. What else? Facebook, X, and now on Instagram. I finally got the Instagram up, and also on Threads, which is pretty awesome too, as well. Yeah. So, and then also, and also on TikTok. Other than that, everybody, we really appreciate you guys to be here tonight, whoever's on listening, and please send us your feedback and what you like, what you don't like. We would love that, because we're all in it together. We're all here to search the truth. And I would say this, everybody, stay safe, be interested, don't be a pawn, find out the truth, be independent thinkers, and more importantly, until next time, see you on the other side. Good night.